press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, welcome back to your social science class. We're going to continue the chapter social problems, alright. Where we stopped in the previous class is female feticide. Today we are going to continue into hunger and malnutrition, and we'll discuss only hunger and malnutrition today. In the next and the coming class we'll go into gender discrimination, that is there. After that we still have a lot more to cover. We have child marriage, we have child trafficking, we have, okay, two more problems, but reasons and prohibitions and other things dealt with marriage and trafficking we'll do in the coming classes that are there. But today we're going to only deal with hunger and malnutrition. So this is one of the general topics that is spoken about in all over India. Now don't give your concentration on this. When I come to that I'll tell you what that is. But concentrate on what I am trying to tell you today. Hunger and malnutrition. Do you think these two words mean the same? Or do you think they are different? Hunger. Now you can also tell, isn't it? Now when it's already going to be maybe 1 in the afternoon, then you say, I'm hungry, I want to eat. Can you put that hunger over here? Think for yourself. Now we'll have to I'll have to post questions on you and you'll have to think for yourself, because we are not face to face. But my question to you is, think if you have to say at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I am hungry, I want to eat, and this hunger, do you think they are related in a way? I'll give you my way of saying it. When you say at 1 o'clock, I am hungry and I want food, that doesn't amount to this problem of hunger that we are speaking about. Okay? We are not deprived of food there. There is food, just that we are having the feeling that I want food and I go and eat it. Okay? But when we are discussing about the problem of hunger, we are telling it in such a way that people don't get food to eat. That is, they are deprived of food to eat, is this hunger. Okay? Our hungriness is different, but we are not deprived of food. We have food, isn't it? We can eat. We can prepare food and eat. But here, there are a lot of people who don't get food. Now, if you have gone to a lot of functions, this is my observation that I have done in most of the weddings and other functions that I have visited or I have attended to. People take so much of food on their plate and then they are not able to eat, especially that catering food or food that is not prepared at home. Obviously, when they are preparing in bulk, they do add certain ingredients where it makes you feel full. Okay? Soda and other items. So it makes you full because they will have to serve a lot of people there. It's not only you alone. Now at home you're 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 of them at least. Okay, you have a limited number of people at home. So you know how much quantity is needed. Vegetables or a non-veg that you cook, you know how much quantity is needed for the family. But when there is a function, there are so many people coming, and that food has to remain for all of them. So when it has to remain for all of them, they do add certain ingredients which makes you feel full when you eat certain items on your plate. Though we know it, we still act like we don't know it. I have seen certain people, they still act like they don't know it. And then they take rice, they take dosas and idlis or whatever they have to take, sambar and all items that are there. Possibly what they can eat, only rice or idli or one of the items, dosas, non-veg if it is there, or vegetables that are there, then curd maybe. They can only eat limited there, and the rest is to the bin. Okay, but can we think it in this way, students? Can we take only how much we need? Don't we know how much food our stomach can consume? How much food we can take? Now, if there is a plate that is it's so big, don't we know how much rice we will need for our body? Just because somebody else is taking like 2 spoons of rice, 2 ladles of rice, doesn't mean that I also should take it, isn't it? I may take 1 or take at least half, because I know I can't eat it. It's in the bin there. At least if we save food like that, people who are into this problem of hunger, at least we can save them somewhere, at least save them from death and malnutrition. So make a wise choice when you attend functions, students. Take only how much your body needs. You know how much your body needs. There may be people coming, eat. No, they will tell eat, but you refuse and tell, no, I can only eat so much and I don't want to waste. See, we must always remember, you take little, and if you want more, go back and take it again and come back. But rather don't take too much and then waste it. But take little, finish it off. If you still feel that, okay, I need to eat a little more, I need little more food, go and ask only how much you require. Bring that, finish and clear off everything that's on your plate. Okay, clear everything. Let's eat everything on your plate and then only discard the plate or wash the plate and keep. So can we all practice this? We can. Because see, there are different kinds of bodies. So we must understand our bodies properly. How much I may be eating, the person next to me may not be eating. Or how much they are eating, I may not be able to eat. So accordingly, you have to make a choice now and make people aware in your family and in and around, saying that this is how it is. Now when all of us do, now if there are 100 guests in the function there, if 100 of them think like that, at least if you take one portion of their plate, one portion of the food items that they are trying to waste, just imagine how many people can be fed who are malnourished and who are in hunger. We can, right? We can help a little somewhere. Maybe some things may not go unnoticed, but in the long run, somewhere it will help us. Somewhere it will help somebody. So you make a right choice when you are wasting food, okay? At home also, take only how much is needed. Don't overeat. One is don't overeat. Don't eat less too. Eat moderate. Keep your body healthy, but don't waste. Unnecessarily don't take. It's like it may get over and I need to eat. No. Take little. Even if you want to taste it, take little. If you don't like it or if you're experimenting that food for the first time, take very little. Only if you like it, take more. If you don't like it, just leave it. Don't take it and at least let somebody else eat it who likes it. Okay? So you have to make a right choice sometimes. Choice is always needed in anything that you do in life. Now, the Food and Agricultural Organization the Food and Agricultural Education, what have they done? I said education, I think. It's organization, okay? The Food and Agriculture Organization. I was just thinking for myself, what did I say? They have calculated how many people go hungry like this, okay? So on a daily, day-to-day basis, they have calculated how much of food a person needs in terms of calories. Now I hope you have studied in your science text what calories are and how much of what we need to keep our body healthy. So FAO, okay, FAO, they have calculated on a daily basis how much of food a person needs in terms of calories. All right, calories. Now if you see your smartwatches, or if you see your phone, smartphones have health apps, okay. Samsung phones have a Samsung health app, and every phone has an health app that is there, okay. Sometimes inbuilt, sometimes you may have to download. Now they give you have burnt so many calories today, okay. They show you your steps that you have walked, and then they give you a star also if you have walked, okay. So they show you how much of calories you burnt, and if you feed into it what you are eating on a daily basis, they also show you how much of calories you have taken inside your body and how much of it has to be balanced. So they give you an analysis of what you feed into it. All right. So FAO is calculating India's hunger, okay. This organization has not India's hunger, the human being's hunger on a day-to-day basis, or how much of food a human being needs in terms of calories. Now this medical sociology, okay, people who have been into this field, they have also said that the amount of calorie that is needed for in each individual depends on the nature of the work that individual does. Now if the person is doing a lot of physical work, then he needs a lot of calories that he has to eat, okay, but balanced. If the person has a less amount of physical work, then those calories have to be balanced according to the work that the person is doing, okay. So that is how medical sociology has said. Now this hunger that is there, that I have written down for you, is not getting enough of those calories is hunger. That is not getting. Now you are hungry at 1 o'clock, you are eating, you are getting them. Deprivation, that is you are not getting them, is hunger. All right. Necessary food or necessary calorie is not available for that person, and that is hunger. Now you need carbohydrates, you need proteins, you need fats, you need vitamins, okay. That is why they tell, isn't it, eat cereals, eat pulses, eat vegetables, balance, eat fish, eat chicken or whatever, balance it, okay. Balance on your plate. Why they say balance on your plate? 6 meals a day. Most of them have suggested 6 meals a day in breaks. Why? Because that keeps your body running. But we often are used to having 3 larger meals. But they have told, doctors suggest you to break down those 3 larger meals into 6 each a day. Okay. So now these proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, all these that are there, if not gotten, if you have not got them, okay, if you don't get them, all right, then your intake of that balanced diet is not fulfilled, then it is called something as invisible hunger. Invisible hunger, that is, if you are deprived of those proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, fats, and you don't get a certain amount of it, then that is termed to be as invisible hunger. That you can't see that hunger, but there is hunger within that person. Now there are people who don't get food and they lose on these calories that they have to get. The balanced diet they have to follow, and that leads them to hunger. All right. Now according to FAO in India, for the conditions in India, they have said an individual needs 1820 calories, okay, 20 calories of food. One individual needs 1820 calories. Now you must understand this also depends on age, okay. This is an adult rating that's given. It also depends on age. Now if any person is receiving less than 1632 calories of food, then the person is considered as he is suffering from hunger and malnutrition. Okay. 1820 calories is what each individual must get, but if they get less than 1632, then that means that he or she is deprived of food and they are into hunger and malnutrition. Malnutrition is no proper nutrition. Okay. Have you seen very skinny children sometimes? Only bones, you can see all your ribs here, okay, bones and everything, like very skeletal body that is there, no flesh absolutely. Those are malnourished children, okay. Then they have a big belly like this, okay, because of certain deprivations of food that is there. Okay, moving on, we will see what's hunger index. Now, I told you hunger is deprivation of food, that is you do not get it, absence of certain kind of quantity of food that is there, okay. Hunger is absence of a certain quantity of food. Now, when you have that absence, you lose on the essential nutrients you are going to get. When you lose on those essential things that you will have to get, what happens? You lose your health. When you lose your health, there are complications. When there are complications, either it is death or suffering, okay. Ultimately, you will be in such a situation which you cannot do, and then ultimately leads to death, alright. Sometimes it will happen in such a way where one of your part gets physically handicapped, okay. So, you must eat well, that is why they emphasize on eating right things. Do not eat a lot of junk food, okay. Try to keep your body intact always, do not eat a lot of junk food. Junk food is not good, okay. Rather go and eat some fruits, that will keep you healthy. You want to you feel like eating sweets, eat bananas or eat papaya, that's a little sweeter, okay, it's a little sweeter than oranges and sweet lime. You have bananas, papayas, mangoes in the season, okay, jackfruits, those all are good. Seasonal fruits are always good, okay. Seasonal fruits according to their seasons you must eat them. So, when you feel like eating a sweet, it's not like you do not go and eat sweets, or you do not eat junk food, or you do not eat your burgers and pizzas, so not like that. Once in a while everything is fine, once in a while everything in its limit is fine, okay. Soft drinks and all don't make your body healthy, but make and take your body's energy as it is, because those are all aerated drinks, and instead go and drink a fruit juice. Eating a fruit is better than drinking a fruit juice, but in case you still feel that, go and drink some lime juice or drink a fruit juice that is there, okay. Avoid these soft drinks that are there, or rather carry your own water bottle. If you still feel thirsty and then you feel like drinking something, carry your own water bottle, that is the best thing to do, okay. You will not have water anywhere, you will not drink anything outside just because you are thirsty, because you have a water bottle with you. And in that still case you feel like tasting something else, go and drink a fruit juice or tender coconut, that's the best thing, okay, tender coconut. So, that is how you will have to balance. So, we can all do all these things, but still there are people who are not getting all of these. So, when you eat, when you drink, when you do certain things, think of them and then eat, because today what's there on your plate is not there for them, okay. Maybe we may also be able to see a day that we will not have nothing on our plate, anything on our plate. Don't know, we cannot stay of situations like that. So, when we have, we should be grateful that we have something on our plate and not fuss about this and that on the plate. Eat everything that's there on the plate and finish it off, okay. Alright. Now, these complications that are there, they lead you to handicaps or death, I told you. So, that is how this hunger index is created on certain aspects that are taken out from how people have been reactive to hunger. Okay, now they have understood, okay, hunger index is just like a statistics that they give you. They have tried to understand what has made those people like that, the situations that has brought them into hunger, okay. Now, there are three things or three aspects where hunger index is measured, or the hunger index is comprising of these three things, okay. First one is, if people receive minimum calorie of food, okay, minimum calorie of food that is there, a certain amount of calories I noted down here. If you get less than that, okay, very minimum than the average that you have to get, then that is considered one of the aspects of hunger, okay. Second aspect is children who are below 5 years of age who are underweight. Now, if you have seen certain children very skinny and very thin, okay, sometimes you can see their bones. It's not being thin and fat, no, not like that, okay. Don't take thin and fat. Everybody has different kinds of bodies, so don't compare your body to somebody else. But some children very thin in such a way that absolutely you don't find any kind of flesh on their body, okay. Below 5 years they are considered as underweight. So this is another aspect of adding on to hunger index. Then mortality rate, that is death rate of children below 5 years of age. Death rate of children below 5 years of age, out of these aspects of hunger as well. Now, based on these three aspects of the index, the World Bank has said children in India are suffering from hunger and malnutrition. Now, India has a lot of underweight children. See, these midday meals and all have been started in schools. One is to curb this problem, one way. But there are schools where midday meals and all are given, where proper nutrients are not available to the child. Those things are also happening, okay, where people are making money out of it and children are not given certain things that are there. But that scheme was basically started so that children don't go hungry. Children are not put into hunger, okay. Then now this hunger and not getting proper nutrients may be considered into child mortality, that is death rate that is there, okay. Infant mortality, just without proper nutrition to the mother, the child is suffering, okay. Then fertility rate also has a problem, and then the development in the country. Now, here in your text it is given, according to the Global Hunger Index in 2015, India's rank is 100, but in 2020, okay, we are in the 94th position out of 107 countries, I think, okay. So in 2015 our hunger index was in 100, but now, okay, we have reduced, okay, we have reduced and we have come to the 94th position. 94th position, alright. That time in 2015 we were in the 100th position, India was in number 100, now in 2020 we are in 94, okay. This is recent information, alright. Now this shows we have just reduced a little bit, that is that reduced a little bit of hunger, that means we have improved our situation a little bit, coming to the 94th position. As we come down, that means we are doing a lot of improvement. Going high doesn't mean improvement, okay. Going high meaning we are getting worse there, alright. So as we come to 0, that means there is nothing. Then we'll study a little bit of malnutrition, okay, facts and figures in this, but I'm going to give you only important things that are there, then you can read for yourself. Alright, so malnutrition that we are going to study. Here in this, according to National Family Health Survey, National Family Health Survey of 2011, they have done an analysis of the women in Karnataka, and they have said body mass index, okay, everybody has a body mass index, that is your weight in proportionate to your height, okay, weight in proportionate to your height. Now this is what I have put down for you here, but I will come to that just a second. They have said body mass index of Karnataka rural women is 24.3, okay, that is in the rural areas, whereas urban areas it is 16.2. Now you should have your body mass index between actually 18.5 to 24.9. Within this, body mass index is average and 5, 18.5 to 24.9, alright. Now 60.9 children between 5 to 6 months of age are suffering from anemia. Anemia is blood that doesn't have a lot of RBC cells, okay, anemia. Not lack of RBC cells, not enough RBC in your body, in your blood that is there, okay. Then 80.4, now see these facts and figures, I don't know how much you can remember, but just give an overview and read it, okay. 80.4 of the married women in take less participation in the family decisions. Rural areas don't involve women much into it because of the situations that are going on. Now this, according to this family health survey, 79.5% of the women are abused by their husbands. Maybe one way of malnutrition, because abuse is one, okay, maybe physical or sexual abuse that is there. Then in another way, maybe not giving them food, making them stay outside their houses, not giving them enough respect in the house, okay, can lead to hunger there, and then lead to malnutrition. And if the poor woman is pregnant with a child, then both lives are suffering. So that can lead to infant mortality also, okay. When the mother doesn't get proper nutrition, the child is also suffering in return, and even if the mother delivers the child, then it can lead to the death of the child, because the child has no way to survive. It has not got any nutrient from the mother. Alright. 33% of women and 28% of men have a lower BMI, that is body mass index, than what is actually needed. What is actually needed? 18.5 to 24.9, between that, alright. So 56% of women aged between 15 to 49 years and 24% of men of similar age and 58% of pregnant women suffer from food shortage and malnutrition. See, all these are facts and figures, you may read for yourself. According to this National Family Health Survey in 2015 and 16, 70.4 children between 6 to 35 months of age are suffering from anemia, that is blood that doesn't have enough of RBC. Now children who do suffer from this anemia, okay, anemia or E, whatever it is, okay, anemia. Children who suffer from this anemia are mostly from families who are below poverty line, BPLs, okay, below poverty line. Have you heard those two cards when you go to the ration, APL and BPL, above poverty line, below poverty line. So most of these families whose children are suffering from anemia, malnutrition, okay, they have a big belly like this because of lack of nutrients, okay, they belong to the below poverty line. Now, in order to protect these people, they get certain security from the public food distribution system. That is, ration is given, isn't it? Have you seen people get rice, sugar for a certain amount there in the ration shop, all right? Then everybody must work into solving this. Now here what I have put down for you is the body mass index. You can calculate your body mass index. I will tell you how to calculate. Divide your weight by your height in meters, okay. Divide your height in kg per meter square, weight by height, okay. It should come between this 18.5 to 24.9. Now if your body mass index is a little higher, then have you seen some of the people, how much ever they eat, they don't put on as much as weight. They may put slightly, but it will not unnoticeable. Their body mass index is high. When your body mass index is high, your body balances it there. But body mass index is low, then people gain weight easily, and it's easily noticeable. All right. Some people are constant with their weight for so many years, constant and perfectly maintained, we must feel, because of their body mass index. That is how it is. So BMI is equal to your weight upon height and calculate it, okay. In case not there, convert it into 100 and calculate it. All right. So this is malnutrition and hunger. Now where we can stop is when we ourselves realize one day and then stop doing this. Now certain places I have seen, after the function, if there is food that is left over, then it is given to orphanages, it is given to old age homes where people can eat, or just distribute it to whoever is in need. Other than that, I have seen people who have donated food and other things for their birthdays and occasions like that. But we can all start at home, isn't it? Not waste food at home itself. So how much ever we eat, we know how much each one of us eats. So whatever is being cooked, take what is needed and finish off your days. Okay, even if you eat very less, also nothing is going to happen to you. But eat in moderation. Okay, eat in moderation. And when you eat, think of people who are into a lot of hunger and malnutrition. Go to YouTube and see some videos. I want you to see some videos. Just put hunger and malnutrition. Okay, or hunger and malnutrition of children. You will get a number of videos there. See one or two of them and make a self-realization as to what you have to do in order to contribute to this. Okay, so with this I would like to stop. You must also make an analysis on what you are eating and what you are not eating. So this can come in your science class. So you must realize, but everything can, every subject is interconnected. So realize how much you are eating, what you are eating, what is making you, and also calculate your BMI and keep it, know it what your BMI is. So you can act accordingly, what your body needs and what your body doesn't need. So we'll wind up here, students. Thank you very much.